In a situation where your own child has violently pushed you off a cliff, ensuring immediate safety becomes the most critical and urgent priority. Survival is paramount, and every decision you make in the first moments can determine whether you live or sustain severe injury. Even if you have survived the initial fall, the environment may still be dangerous, and the aggressor could attempt further harm. Moving to the safest possible location immediately is essential. First, assess your surroundings carefully, looking for stable ground, secure ledges, or areas where you are not at risk of further falling. Avoid remaining in precarious positions where any movement could result in additional injury. If you are on uneven terrain, rocks, or near the edge of the cliff, shift slowly and deliberately toward a more stable area, avoiding sudden movements that might worsen injuries or destabilize the ground. If your spouse or companion is with you, coordinate movements to ensure both of you can reach safety without causing harm to each other. Staying together can provide emotional support and help in evaluating the safest path, but also be aware that space may be needed for each person to move safely if the terrain is unstable. While physical movement is essential, mental awareness is equally important. Stay alert to any signs that the aggressor may still be nearby. Listen carefully for voices, footsteps, or any indication that the attacker is returning. Your initial instinct to pretend to be dead may have been necessary in the moment, but as soon as it is safe, prepare to move quickly and quietly. Remaining aware of your surroundings reduces the risk of being caught off guard. Once you reach a safer location, seek help immediately, which may include calling emergency services, signaling for help from passersby, or moving toward a location where others are present. Do not attempt to confront your son directly. In situations involving extreme violence, confrontation can escalate the danger rather than reduce it. Finally, prioritize immediate survival over all other concerns, including property, possessions, or family dynamics. In life-threatening situations, emotional responses such as fear, shock, or disbelief are natural, but practical action must take precedence. Ensuring safety involves deliberate movement, environmental awareness, and readiness to seek help as soon as you are out of immediate danger. In essence, ensuring immediate safety means finding stable ground, moving carefully, staying alert to ongoing threats, and prioritizing survival above all else, as it is the first, most critical step in responding effectively to a life-threatening attack. After ensuring immediate safety following an attack as severe as being pushed off a cliff by your own child, contacting emergency services becomes an urgent and essential step. This action is critical, not only to secure immediate medical attention, but also to involve authorities who can protect you from further harm. Prompt communication with trained professionals significantly increases the chances of survival and reduces the risk of ongoing danger. If you have a phone, call your local emergency number immediately, clearly and calmly stating your situation, explaining that you and your spouse were pushed off a cliff, describing your location as precisely as possible, and indicating any visible injuries or life-threatening conditions. Providing accurate details about the terrain and accessibility helps rescue teams reach you faster. If you are unable to speak due to injury or shock, use text messaging or emergency apps if available, or signal nearby people to call on your behalf. While waiting for help, ensure your phone remains accessible, fully charged if possible, and close to your body. Keep it within reach in case the aggressor returns or your condition worsens. If the terrain allows, consider moving to a more visible or accessible location, but avoid putting yourself at further risk. Emergency responders can provide not only medical assistance, but also coordinate law enforcement intervention to prevent the aggressor from approaching again. When communicating with authorities, stay focused and factual, providing details such as the aggressor's identity, the sequence of events, and any weapons or additional threats involved. Mention your injuries, the immediate hazards of the cliff or surrounding terrain, and whether anyone else is present. These specifics help emergency personnel prioritize the urgency of your situation and prepare the appropriate rescue equipment. Calling emergency services also has a legal dimension. Reporting the assault immediately establishes a formal record of the attempted murder, which is critical for criminal investigation and any subsequent legal proceedings. It ensures that law enforcement is aware of the severity of the attack and can take steps to prevent further violence, including detaining or monitoring the aggressor. Finally, remember that calling for help is a life-saving step and not a sign of weakness. In situations involving extreme violence from a family member, involving trained professionals is essential to secure both your survival and your legal protection. Prompt communication with emergency services is the fastest way to transition from immediate danger to safety and medical care. After surviving a fall from a cliff, the next critical step is to assess both your own and your spouse's injuries. Even if you feel relatively okay initially, trauma from a high fall can cause severe internal injuries that are not immediately visible. Carefully evaluating your physical condition is essential for survival, for giving accurate information to emergency responders, and for preventing further complications while waiting for help. Begin by taking a moment to stabilize yourself, moving slowly and deliberately to avoid worsening any potential fractures, spinal injuries, or internal damage. If you are in pain or suspect broken bones, avoid attempting to stand or walk unnecessarily. Keep your body as still as possible while assessing injuries, using support from rocks, trees, or stable ground if available. Check for visible injuries such as cuts, bruises, swelling, or bleeding. Apply pressure to any open wounds to slow bleeding if you have a cloth or clothing available. Immobilize any limbs that appear fractured by keeping them in a fixed position. Head, neck, and back injuries are particularly dangerous. Avoid sudden movements of these areas and keep your head aligned with your spine to reduce the risk of spinal damage. Also, monitor for less visible symptoms that may indicate serious internal injury. Dizziness, confusion, nausea, shortness of breath, or abdominal pain. Even if these symptoms seem minor, they can be signs of internal bleeding or organ damage, which can become life-threatening if not treated quickly. Keep track of any changes in consciousness, pulse, or breathing, both for yourself and your spouse. If your spouse is injured, coordinate care and communication, providing reassurance while minimizing movement and helping them stay calm. Work together to manage visible injuries and remain aware of your surroundings for additional threats while waiting for emergency responders. It is important to remember that checking for injuries is also essential for communicating with rescuers. When emergency personnel arrive, giving them detailed information about your injuries and symptoms allows them to triage effectively and provide immediate medical treatment. Precise descriptions also help in documenting the severity of the assault and fall, which is vital for legal purposes. In summary, carefully assessing injuries involves stabilizing yourself, identifying visible and hidden trauma, minimizing movement, providing basic first aid if possible, and monitoring changes in condition. This step is crucial for survival, effective communication with rescuers, and ensuring that both you and your spouse receive the urgent care needed after such a life-threatening event. After surviving a violent push off a cliff, staying calm and alert is critical to increasing your chances of survival. Panic can impair judgment, lead to rash decisions, and worsen injuries, while situational awareness allows you to respond effectively to ongoing threats, navigate hazardous terrain safely, and communicate clearly with rescuers. Begin by taking slow, deliberate breaths, which helps regulate your heart rate, reduces shock, and improves mental clarity. Even in extreme fear, focusing on breathing can prevent panic from overtaking your ability to make rational decisions. Calmness enables you to think strategically about your immediate environment, your injuries, and the steps needed to stay safe. While maintaining composure, remain mentally alert to your surroundings, listening for footsteps, voices, or other signs that your son or anyone else might be approaching. Visual scanning is also important. Note unstable rocks, cliffs, or hazards around you that could cause further injury. Awareness of both human threats and environmental dangers ensures you can react quickly and appropriately without putting yourself at additional risk. Mental alertness is equally important for planning your next moves. Determine safe paths to more stable ground, identify potential locations for rescue signals, and consider how to position yourself so that you remain visible to rescuers while minimizing exposure to danger. Avoid making sudden movements that could worsen injuries, but also be ready to act if the aggressor returns or help arrives. Use your alertness to coordinate with your spouse, quietly communicating about injuries, safe movement, and any environmental hazards. Working together enhances safety, provides emotional reassurance, and ensures that both of you make informed decisions in a high-risk situation. Staying calm also aids in interacting with emergency services. When you eventually contact rescuers, being able to speak clearly and provide concise information about your location, injuries, and the circumstances of the attack is essential. Panic can obscure details or delay rescue, whereas composure allows you to maximize the effectiveness of assistance. Finally, mental calmness helps preserve energy and focus. Extreme physical and emotional stress can exhaust you quickly, which is dangerous in precarious terrain. By controlling fear, maintaining awareness, and thinking strategically, you increase the likelihood of surviving until professional help arrives. In summary, staying calm and alert involves controlling fear, focusing on surroundings, planning movements, coordinating with your spouse, and preparing to communicate effectively with rescuers. This mental discipline is as critical as physical safety, allowing you to respond intelligently to threats and environmental hazards after such a traumatic incident. After surviving an extreme and life-threatening assault, documenting everything that occurred is a critical step for both legal protection and ensuring your safety. Accurate records help law enforcement investigate the incident, provide evidence for potential criminal charges, and serve as a reference for medical professionals treating injuries. Documentation also helps you process the trauma and communicate clearly about what happened. Start by recording the sequence of events as soon as possible, while the details are fresh in your memory, including the time, date, and location of the assault. Describe exactly what your son did, the force used, and any threats made. Include the actions taken by you and your spouse, such as whispering, "Pretend we're dead," and how that affected the outcome. Even small details like sounds, environmental hazards, or objects involved in the fall can be important for investigators. If there were witnesses or potential rescuers, note their names and contact information, as their accounts can corroborate your story and strengthen any legal case. Even indirect witnesses, such as hikers, tourists, or nearby residents who might have heard or seen part of the incident, should be documented. Photographs and videos, if accessible, are highly valuable. Document visible injuries, environmental hazards, or the position of your bodies after the fall without compromising your safety. Even a rough visual record can assist law enforcement, medical personnel, and legal professionals in understanding the severity and context of the assault. Additionally, keep a detailed journal of ongoing effects, recording physical symptoms such as pain, swelling, or dizziness, and emotional responses like fear, anxiety, or trauma. These records are useful for medical assessments, psychological support, and court proceedings. Digital evidence, if available, should also be saved, including text messages, social media posts, or emails from your son before or after the incident, which could serve as evidence of intent or threat. Ensure all records are stored securely so the aggressor cannot access them. Finally, documentation is not only legal evidence, it is a tool for clarity and empowerment. Writing down what happened helps organize your thoughts, validate your experience, and communicate effectively with authorities. thorough records increase your chances of receiving proper legal protection and medical care, while helping maintain a sense of control in an otherwise chaotic situation. In summary, documenting everything involves detailed written records, photographic evidence, witness information, digital proof, and ongoing tracking of physical and emotional effects, creating a comprehensive foundation for safety, legal action, and recovery. After surviving a fall from a cliff, obtaining a medical evaluation is absolutely critical, even if you feel relatively unharmed. Falls from significant heights can cause hidden injuries that are not immediately visible, including internal bleeding, fractures, concussions, or organ damage. Immediate professional assessment ensures that potentially life-threatening conditions are identified and treated promptly, which can be the difference between survival and severe long-term consequences. As soon as you're in a safe location and emergency services are contacted, explain in detail what happened to the medical personnel, including the height and nature of the fall, how you landed, and any immediate symptoms such as pain, dizziness, nausea, or loss of consciousness. Providing a full account helps doctors prioritize tests, monitor for internal injuries, and deliver appropriate treatment quickly. Medical evaluation should include a comprehensive physical assessment, checking vital signs, examining for fractures, bruising, lacerations, or head injuries, and assessing internal organs for trauma. Imaging tests such as X-rays, CT scans, or ultrasounds may be necessary to detect injuries that are not externally visible. Even minor bruising or swelling can mask serious internal trauma, so professional examination is essential. In addition to physical injuries, it is important to address psychological trauma. Experiencing an attempted murder at the hands of your own child can cause acute stress, anxiety, or post-traumatic shock. Many hospitals and emergency responders provide access to crisis counselors or psychologists who can help you process the incident safely and begin emotional recovery. Early mental health support also reduces the risk of long-term trauma, such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Keep all medical records and reports safe, as they not only track your recovery, but also serve as critical evidence for law enforcement and legal proceedings. Finally, follow all medical instructions carefully, including rest, medications, or follow-up appointments, since your recovery period is as important as immediate treatment. Taking proper care of your injuries ensures that you regain strength and remain capable of cooperating with authorities and making important decisions about your safety. In summary, medical evaluation after a fall involves comprehensive assessment, imaging for hidden injuries, psychological support, detailed documentation, and careful follow-up. It is a vital step in safeguarding your life, ensuring proper treatment, and preserving evidence of the attack. After surviving a violent and life-threatening assault, involving law enforcement is a crucial step for both your safety and legal protection. Physical violence with intent to kill, such as being pushed off a cliff by your own child, is a serious criminal offense. Police intervention not only helps prevent further attacks, but also ensures that the incident is officially documented, providing a foundation for potential criminal prosecution, protective measures, and legal recourse. Once you are in a safe location and emergency services have arrived, provide law enforcement with a full, detailed account of what happened, including your son's actions, exact words, threats made, and any steps taken to protect yourselves, such as pretending to be dead. Describe the location of the incident, environmental hazards, injuries sustained, and any visible or hidden dangers that could affect your safety. The more precise and thorough your account, the easier it is for authorities to respond effectively and build a strong case. Share all documentation and evidence you have collected, including photographs of injuries, medical reports, written notes of the event, witness statements, and digital communications, such as texts or social media messages that demonstrate threats or intent. Law enforcement can use this material to support investigation, determine the severity of the offense, and take immediate action to protect you from further harm. Involving police is also essential for implementing preventative measures. Officers can advise on restraining or protective orders to legally prevent your son from approaching you or your spouse, coordinate with other authorities to monitor his behavior, and, in extreme cases, detain him to ensure your safety. They may also provide guidance on safe relocation, securing property, and emergency protocols until the situation is fully resolved. It is important to cooperate fully with authorities while maintaining your personal safety. Answer questions honestly and clearly, but avoid unnecessary confrontation with the aggressor during this process. Finally, involving law enforcement provides emotional reassurance, as knowing that trained professionals are aware of the situation, actively monitoring it, and taking steps to prevent further violence helps reduce fear and allows you to focus on recovery. In summary, involving law enforcement after a life-threatening assault ensures immediate protection, official documentation, legal recourse, preventative measures, and emotional support. It is a vital step in securing safety, holding the aggressor accountable, and navigating the aftermath of an extremely dangerous situation. After surviving a violent and life-threatening attack from your own son, restricting contact is a crucial step to protect yourself and your spouse from further harm. Direct interaction with someone who has shown a willingness to attempt murder can be extremely dangerous, and minimizing contact reduces the risk of additional physical, emotional, or psychological trauma. The first step is to establish complete physical separation. Do not remain in the same location as your son and avoid any situation where he could approach you. This may involve temporarily relocating to a safe location, staying with trusted friends or family members, or utilizing shelters or secure facilities recommended by authorities. Physical distance is the most immediate and effective way to prevent further assault. Next, limit communication to only what is necessary and safe. Avoid face-to-face interactions, phone calls, or unsupervised digital communication. If communication is required for legal, medical, or family matters, consider using written methods such as email or text, or intermediaries such as attorneys, law enforcement, or professional mediators. Written records provide both a safety buffer and documentation of any interaction that occurs. Legal tools can reinforce restricted contact. Law enforcement can assist in obtaining restraining orders or protective orders, which legally prevent your son from approaching you, contacting you, or entering specific locations. These orders provide a formal mechanism to enforce boundaries and can be critical in preventing further violence. Compliance with these legal protections is essential for both your safety and for establishing accountability. While restricting contact, it is also important to coordinate with trusted individuals. Inform friends, neighbors, or relatives about your location, routines, and the situation so they can respond quickly if necessary. Having a support network increases safety and ensures someone is aware if an emergency arises. Emotionally, restricting contact helps you regain a sense of control and reduce anxiety. Maintaining distance allows you to process the trauma without constant fear of confrontation, and it prevents emotionally charged encounters that could escalate into further violence. In summary, restricting contact involves physical separation, controlled communication, legal protections, coordination with a support network, and emotional boundaries. These measures are essential for minimizing risk, preserving your safety, and creating the conditions necessary for recovery and effective legal action. By limiting interaction with the aggressor, you protect both your physical well-being and your ability to navigate the aftermath of a life-threatening event. Surviving a life-threatening assault at the hands of your own child can have profound emotional and psychological effects. Fear, shock, anger, disbelief, and grief are all natural responses, and addressing these emotions is crucial for recovery, decision-making, and long-term well-being. Emotional and psychological support should be treated as seriously as medical care. Start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Experiencing fear or trauma does not indicate weakness. It is a natural response to extreme danger. Allow yourself to recognize emotions that arise in the aftermath, including anger, confusion, guilt, or sadness. Suppressing these feelings can increase stress and impede recovery, while processing them safely can help restore a sense of control. Seeking professional counseling or therapy is highly recommended. A psychologist, counselor, or trauma specialist can help you process the event, develop coping strategies, and manage symptoms, such as anxiety, nightmares, hypervigilance, or panic attacks. Early intervention can prevent long-term psychological effects like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, depression, or chronic anxiety. Therapists can also guide you in establishing boundaries and rebuilding trust in your immediate environment. Support from trusted friends, family members, or community members is also essential. Sharing your experience with people who listen without judgment provides emotional reassurance, reduces isolation, and allows you to express feelings safely. Even brief supportive interactions can help you regain a sense of stability and confidence. Consider structured support groups, either in person or online, for individuals who have experienced domestic violence or extreme family conflict. Connecting with others who have faced similar situations can normalize your emotions, provide practical strategies for coping, and foster a sense of solidarity. Practical steps such as maintaining routines, engaging in physical activity, journaling, or mindfulness exercises can help manage stress and anxiety. These activities support emotional resilience, improve focus, and maintain physical health while recovering from trauma. Finally, emotional and psychological support helps you make clearer decisions regarding safety, legal action, and property protection. Trauma can cloud judgment, so having guidance and support allows you to respond rationally rather than react impulsively. It empowers you to navigate the aftermath of the assault with confidence, clarity, and strength. In summary, emotional and psychological support involves acknowledging feelings, seeking professional counseling, engaging trusted networks, joining support groups, practicing self-care, and fostering resilience. These steps are vital for recovery, reducing long-term trauma, and enabling you to safely address legal, physical, and relational consequences of an extreme, life-threatening event. After surviving an extreme and life-threatening assault, planning for long-term safety is essential to ensure that you and your spouse are protected from future harm. This involves taking proactive steps to secure your living environment, establish boundaries, and implement legal and practical measures to minimize risk while rebuilding a sense of control over your lives. Start by evaluating your living situation. Consider temporarily or permanently relocating to a safer environment where your son cannot access you. This might include staying with trusted family members, friends, or in a secure facility recommended by authorities. Ensure that the location is discreet, has controlled access, and is easy for emergency responders to reach if needed. Implement physical security measures in your home or temporary residence. Change locks, secure windows and doors, install alarms or surveillance systems, and create safe zones where you can retreat in case of an emergency. Even small security upgrades, such as reinforced doors or motion sensor lights, can provide an immediate sense of safety and deter further aggression. Legal protections are a critical component of long-term safety. Work with law enforcement and legal advisors to obtain restraining or protective orders that legally prevent your son from contacting or approaching you. These orders establish formal boundaries and provide authorities with the clear mandate to intervene if violations occur. Ensure that these measures are actively enforced and reviewed periodically as needed. Maintain clear boundaries and structured communication protocols. Avoid unsupervised contact and limit interactions to legal or mediated channels. Written communication through attorneys or professional mediators ensures documentation and reduces the risk of confrontation. This approach helps prevent impulsive or dangerous encounters while allowing necessary coordination. Develop a support network to enhance ongoing safety. Inform trusted friends, neighbors, and family members about your situation so they can respond quickly if an emergency arises. Community awareness and backup support can be crucial in high-risk situations. Additionally, long-term safety involves attending to your physical and emotional well-being. Regular medical checkups, therapy, and stress management practices ensure that you remain strong, alert, and capable of making decisions that protect you and your spouse. Emotional resilience helps you respond calmly to potential threats and reduces vulnerability. In summary, planning long-term safety involves secure relocation, home protection, legal safeguards, enforced boundaries, community support, and personal well-being strategies. By taking these measures, you create a sustainable environment where you can recover, rebuild, and live without fear, while reducing the likelihood of further harm from an extremely dangerous family member. If this story impacted you, made you think, or stirred something deep inside, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps important stories like this reach more people. If you want to keep watching real, powerful, and thought-provoking stories that explore the harsh realities of life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in this situation? Where do you think justice, safety, and responsibility truly lie? Your voice matters, and your comment could help create awareness for someone else. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video with another real story and a deeper truth.